like your micro machines, we've got them in spades. The Mini Challenge at Eastern Creek Raceway, an all-new championship for us in 2008. It's going to be following the V8 Supercar Series right across the country. This is Gary Young, who sits in 8th spot, just holding off at the moment and just trying to fight his way through. Chris Oxley, a former Lotus racer, just in behind him. So Stephen Richards, good fights back through the pack, but this is the one that we want to know about because Paul Stokel is just starting to take away some time from Neil McFadden. Yeah, they are. You can see Neil McFadden starting to go a little bit more defensive. He's done a great job out front, maintaining his pace, trying not to be upset by Paul's rhythm in attacking him. Neil hasn't been defending too much in the early part of the race, but you can just start to see now whether Paul's probably been looking after his tyres. He's had the benefit of seeing where Neil's been driving on the road and just starting to make some inroads. But I tell you what, that car length distance you can see there is going to be an incredibly difficult one to make up. Paul Stokel's had a third and a second so far in the two races. Neil McFadden a win and a third place. So he's on target to win the round if he can hang on here. Even if Stokel does get by, that shouldn't change the situation too much. But turn one, front wheel drive car, that must be something to get your attention.
Yeah, it is, but the cars are fantastic. They look like they've got a really neutral balance once the tyre pressures start to normalise. And actually, you know, there we can see a bit of oversteer. Now, oversteer from a front-wheel drive car isn't a common characteristic. So they've done a great job getting these cars set up to be in a situation where they're quite neutral. Paul's starting to put a bit of pressure on here now. It'll be interesting to see if he can just bridge that car length gap in the next 4 or 5 corners. Really, Neil, you know, as we said, Neil's doing a great job as well, just being able to maintain. He's really, this is from a driver's perspective when you're out front like this and you've got someone breathing down your neck, it's very hard to put the blinkers on and not look into the mirror. Start looking into the mirror too much, of course, you start making little mistakes, braking a little bit too late, missing corner apexes, and eventually you've got someone attacking you from behind. So Neil's doing a really good job here, just maintaining his focus and keeping clear well ahead of Paul.
Neil McFadden spent some time in the last little while in the UK, back with his racing program this year. He's been pretty strong in the Formula 3 Open Wheeler Championship this year, has been having some great results there. He's just trying to remind people of what he can do. He was a Formula 4 champion a few years ago in 2003, won the Gold Star with the Formula Holden Open Wheelers, and for a little time there, spent some time in V8 Supercars, was an enduro driver for WPS Racing going back a couple of years. This is David Turner, Perth-based driver, former Lotus racer, under pressure from Ian Sherrin and Gary Young. This is 7th, 8th and 9th, and Ian Sherrin looking pretty pacey here. It's easy to spot him in that yellow car. There's so many red cars, how they've come from the factory, but it's nice to see someone who's changed it up a little.
Yeah, there's definitely some attacking moves going on here. This is where the battle is at the moment. These 4 cars, they've been travelling nose to tail since about lap 3, and we can see now starting to put a bit of pressure on. And again, you know, it looks like Ian's managed the tyres in a good way and starting to gain some advantage, and is going to try and press on and get to the next car.
Gary Young losing a spot. Up the inside goes Chris Oxley. We should point out too, we've talked about, particularly in Adelaide, Thomas Mazira, the driving standards observer for V8 Supercar Racing, has been one in the press this year. Warren Luff has taken on the gig here with the Mini Challenge, and I think he's going to be busy for the course of the year, and probably a good guy to pick, a former Mirage champ and a V8 Ute champ, so knows all about categories where the cars are very equal. Yeah,
knows a lot about front-wheel drive too, and characteristically that can have an influence in some driver standards, that's for sure. You can see here that the tight part of the back of Eastern Creek up to turn 7 here. Guys are sort of almost going to do a bit of status quo at the moment. There's not too much happening. Here we go, battle at the front again. Stokel's got through. Oh no,
He's on board with Bug One. He's chasing Grant Denyer, so the mini men are going at it. This is for 3rd and 4th. And if Grant can hang on, he's looking good for a podium for the weekend, which is pretty good stuff here.
Bugs has come from a long way back. You'll remember that he was a little bit off the pace of Grant early in the race, so he's put his head down, worked really hard, and he's in a position now with 2 laps to go to be right on the back. It's looking good. Can't quite get into the toe, not quite close enough.
6-speed H-pattern gearboxes in these mini challenge cars, but Bugs would be used to about 600 horsepower coming down there, just over 200.
Bugs had a great run through turn 1 there. Hard under brake. See the car wiggle, and now that's the tyres. The tyres are just starting to get a bit heated. Of course, the rear of the car being very light, not having any axle in the back of it, hops around a little bit. Listen to that little turbocharged engine. It sounds fantastic.
The run over the crest of the hill and dropping down into turn 4 on lap 9. So not much time for Bugs to get going here, but he's just taking away a little bit of time every sector.
Yeah, a little bit of tyre squeal there. You can hear clearly they're all starting to have issues, but this is what it's all about. Bugs has got the lights on now.
And you can see there in the graphic, that's the amount of time he's been taking away over the course of the last 4 laps, and that's quite significant.
It is, and I've been in front of Bugs when he's got the lights on, and his eyes are like saucers as well. So you get the idea that he's got 4 headlights on you when you're looking in the rear vision mirror. Grant's gone a little bit wide there. That's allowed Bugs to close up. So this is going to go down to the wire, folks. This is great.
You can see there Grant taking the late apex at turn 9 to try to punch off that corner, but the trouble is there, that's all fine and good for your arc, but the other guy can slip straight up the inside.
Exactly right. Turn 9 is a bit of a funny corner because you can actually hold a tight line and not really lose any advantage at all. So Grant choosing probably the higher risk entry to turn 9. Yeah, Bugs just can't seem to get out of the last corner. We call it turn 12. Grant's really getting the power down there. But it's very, very good through turn 1. Look at that. He's probably closed up 2 car lengths there. Hard on the power on the exit. Braking at just past 100 metres. That's incredible. That's really, really good.
Whereabouts do you brake in a V8 supercar there?
V8 supercar, we're probably braking out at 130. Naturally, we're going a bit quicker. But still, the guy's doing a good job getting it all pulled up nice and tidy to get turned into 2.
Neil McFadden still leading the way. This is the final lap in the mini challenge. Really impressive job here from Nathan Gear. First time at this level of racing, and he's got Jason Bargwanna, a Bathurst winner, right up in front of him, a very experienced driver in Grant Denyer. I think he's going to be a guy to keep an eye on over the course of this championship.
Well, look, this is what it's all about. You know, you get the young guys in racing against the experienced guys, and you know anything can happen if they do a good job. So it's a real level of this class. It's what one make racing is all about. We've seen from experience and heard from experience overseas that this championship is one of the most dynamic in the world at the moment.
Really looking forward to the rest of this championship, and Neil McFadden is going to break right through here for the first round win in history in the mini challenge in this country. He won the first race. He's going to win the round. He'll bring it off turn 12. He's withstood that pressure from Paul Stokel, but the former Carrera Cup star and open-wheeler driver won't be able to get there. Neil McFadden, with the headlights ablaze, is going to get the first win for M3 Motorsport in the mini challenge. Peter Dillman will be a very, very happy man. He takes race 3 and the round. Paul Stokel kept him honest, and Jason Bargwanna's going to have to pedal here to hang on to 4th.
Yeah, looks like Nathan had a bit of a shot, got a good run out of that last corner. As we said, Barg's been struggling there a bit, so but gets across the line for 4th. But a great win for Neil McFadden. That was a heady drive. The pressure of Paul Stokel right there behind him. Very, very good drive. But as we know, 25 kilos of ballast going into the next round.
Congratulations. Here's your trophy, and it weighs a lot. So Neil McFadden takes race 3 from Paul Stokel, Grant Denyer and Jason Bargwanna. Nathan Gear rounded at the top 5. Great to have the mini challenge on track at Eastern Creek this weekend. Gary Young rounds out the top 10. Neil McFadden has done the job. Great to have Bargs back behind the wheel. He's loved his time in the Uber Star car, as they're calling it. Round 2 of the mini challenge. It heads to a track that probably suits them a bit more. A small track, Wakefield Park in Goulburn, and that's coming up on April 5 to 6.